There's more than one way to sell a home. Without an agent, you can go the for sale by owner route. With an agent, you can go the traditional route, via the MLS, or you can try selling the home off market or as a pocket listing. It's called a pocket listing because these listings are not public and are kept in the agent's metaphorical pocket. As a seller, you should understand that choosing to sell your home off market, you're basically saying that you don't want your home to be publicly marketed or placed on the MLS. And that's going to be what we're talking about today. Welcome to Expectations versus Real Estate. I'm Nate Necochea. I'm a realtor with Douglas Elliman here in Orange County, California. My goal is to help you get the information you need to make the best decisions for yourself in realizing your real estate goals. So you've decided to list your home off market. Why? What are some reasons a home seller may opt to list off market rather than going the more traditional route or even for sale by owner? What are the pros and cons of that decision? Pros to selling off market. 1, privacy. High profile sellers that need to limit access to their personal space. Think of celebrities, politicians, or high net worth individuals. Or maybe you just don't want your neighbors or, random strangers gallivanting through your home. 2, it's less disturbing to everyday life or tenants. Look, if you have tenants and you don't want to subject them or yourself to multiple open houses, looky-loos constantly driving by, and just want to minimize the inconvenience in general, a pocket listing might be a good option. 3, unusual property. Now, by unusual, I don't just mean aesthetically unusual. The needed terms may be unusual. Or it could be a scenario like one of my previous pocket listings. I had this pocket listing where the seller was no longer living in the home, but the catch was he was about a third of the way through renovation, and all of his tools and materials and even some personal items were still at the home. And let me clarify, by a third of the way through renovation, I mean a third of the way through the bathroom, a third of the way through the kitchen, a third of the way through the family room, living room, and master bedroom. It was fair to say that it was kind of a hodgepodge of a property, and he really had no desire or ability to complete the project before selling. But because this home was in a gated community, and even though he wasn't living in the house anymore, the seller really didn't want his former neighbors walking through the home a bunch and making judgments about him. 4, testing the water. And sometimes a seller might want to push the upper end of the value range, but isn't sure how that's going to be received by potential buyers. A pocket listing might be a good way to get your home seen by potential buyers while still collecting feedback. Let's look at it like market research to determine the realistic sales price without compiling a whole bunch of days on market. If you're considering a pocket listing, here are some potential cons to consider. Your agent is limited to marketing to only his company, his database, and client list. Public marketing is not allowed, at least in California, so no yard sign. You're not going to get any drive-by or foot traffic. The home's also not going to be on the MLS, which means other agents in the area won't know the home is for sale unless they specifically speak with your agent. The home's not going to be shown on any of the IDX home search websites like Zillow or realtor.com or really any brokerage search site. And so that means the average potential buyer is probably never going to see your home. The chance of multiple offers or bidding wars is really reduced. Now, I'm obviously not saying that multiple offers are as common as they have been over the past couple of years, but being off market does dramatically reduce the likelihood, and that's just based on the lower volume of people seeing the home. In my opinion, the cons of listing off market really just come down to exposure. For example, my current pocket listing has been shared with my company, my contact list, and creatively a few thousand people on social media. But with the public marketing restrictions on pocket listings, how many potential buyers are we missing out on? How many fewer people are being introduced to the property compared to a more traditional listing where the marketing can be much more aggressive? Look, with the current state of the market and the reduction in active buyers, getting more eyes on your home is the best chance of getting it sold for the highest price. It's as simple as that. I hope that clears up a few things on pocket listings or off-market listings. They can be a great tool in the right circumstance and for the right seller. If you're not sure whether listing off-market is right for you, or if you just have any other questions, leave a comment, or you can find my contact information in the description below. Thanks for watching.